Hello and welcome back to Behind the Curve Gaming. In this week's video, we've got some Nintendo 64 CEX Lottery in these two boxes here. We've got 3 items, just under £70. Let's get straight into it, shall we? I've got 3 Nintendo 64 items in here, and I believe the total came to just under £70 of my voucher. Obviously, on each item from CEX, you have a £2.95 delivery fee, which I think is just a flat fee and everything. And by the looks of it, I've got 2 things in one box, one in the other. So I posted it a lot these days, I'm not going to complain. No idea which stores these came from, and obviously, for the most part, now it's a CEX Lottery. Typically, they're not going to take things in that are battered or whatever. You know, I've got something boxed in here. They wouldn't be putting boxed against it if it is completely battered, just because it has a box. I've had it before where the front page of a manual is practically hanging off, and they said we can't take that in as with manual, it would be unboxed. Obviously, that blanket kind of thing doesn't apply to all the stores, they're all going to vary, and that's where a lot of the lottery comes in. There's a lot of grief online when there's CEX lotteries and oh no, CEX done me in again. It's just going to be the person that's taken it in, and then the person who's decided to mark it as a complete with manual, boxed, all that kind of stuff, a grade. You can't blame the organisation themselves. For the most part, they're pretty robust with their grading and their systems, and no complaints here. And for the most part, all very competitive prices, like really competitive. In my short time just browsing Nintendo 64 things and learning about it and learning about the system, the console, the games, for the most part, like, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but you know, 8 times out of 10, CEX is going to be the cheapest, even if you put the delivery fee on top. My local game shop that I went to a couple of weeks ago, for whatever reason, they wanted cash only. I don't know whether that's on the day or whether there's maybe something else going on. Maybe they're always cash only. Probably not. It's pretty easy to have a card machine these days. But considering they're cash only, they seem to be 10-15% above CEX, which is only a few minutes walk away. You know, there's an off chance you're going to get a better condition item for that premium, but you can't be asking for cash and charging 10-15% more when I can go to CEX, assuming they have it in stock, obviously, and I'm going to get a 5-year warranty. I can return if I want to. Let's get straight into these. Now, I'm going to guess what the small one is, because it's pretty obvious. There's only one small item that I've ordered. I'm a bit worried about the 2 items that I've ordered in this one relatively small box. Nintendo 64, so what have I said in my previous videos? That, oh yeah, there's a few things that I need to get hold of. Absolutely titchy. That is an N64 controller pack, which I believe this is correct, that this is kind of like the save pack, right? They're only like £6, I think. I'll put it up on screen how much they roughly are. For like, what, 8 megabytes or something? Is this is correct here? Controller pack. Absolutely fine condition. It does look like there could be a sticker there, or maybe there should be a sticker there. Does that look about right? Is that it? I'll have to find out later on at some point. I do want to look into one of those kind of retro bit wireless controllers. They're not ludicrously expensive, but I do want to give the original kind of Trident controller a go. Give it a fair chance. As I say, I'm trying to get to a good place. I still don't think I'm getting good enough picture quality compared to, you know, kind of some of the images on the back of these boxes and things and what I see online. I don't think I'm getting particularly good picture quality, and it's making it difficult to enjoy the game when I'm you know, struggling a bit here. So it is what it is. Right, so let's get into these. So that accounted for £8.95 of that £70 voucher. Let's get into this. So this is, let's just go into it together. There should be a complete in-box game here. Now that's going to be the one which is going to be very susceptible to, is it good enough? I'm not going to be a mint collector. If manual's only going to be a little bit more, or when I come across something it has manual and, you know, whatever, fine, I'm not bothered. Some manuals, as in a previous episode, some manuals can be really good, like the Rogue Squadron manual which we've got, and then the episode 1 manual next to it, side by side, it's pretty poor. So to be fair, well packaged, it always has been. Let's go for this one first. so I know what it is. So I've been umming and ahhing this week about how am I going to get this expansion pack. I want an expansion pack. I've been looking up the prices on CEX. Some of the stuff isn't in stock. I've been looking up the different variants, what variants looks cool to me, and then suddenly you're looking at £160 for an unboxed watermelon red or whatever colour or something. I'm like, okay, I don't want to spend that much. But at the same time, I don't want to go and spend £85 off the top of my head. Is it discounted or unboxed with an expansion pack included? Just for a standard console? I think if you want the ice blue, not the clear blue, the ice blue, it's like £135, but that is again a big jump again, but it does come with the expansion pack. Just by itself, the expansion pack is like £55. Ooh-wee! So, we have got the, I'll put it right here, is it atomic purple or just clear purple N64 controller? Genuine original controller. I can't remember quite off the top of my head. Did I might pay £22 for this, or £20? 18 to £22, something like that. Let's have a quick look at it. It's unfortunately not got a lot of light this evening. Oh boy. So obviously first when I got this N64 bundle, I felt this stick and I was a bit like, this feels dire, this feels bad. This one feels like there's a more of a like loose dead zone, but when you actually use the stick, it feels better. Like that feels gritty when you actually push the stick. But there's not a huge amount of like dead zone. It's like it's loose, but it's not as loose as someone please let me know if that amount of kind of like loose dead zone, if you will, is normal. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks I can take it back if it isn't. But yeah, this is whatever variant it is, whatever I put on screen already. Other than that, it feels fine. I just wanted a C3 one because I think they were 15, but you can get the original grey one for like £12. That's cheap, guys, £12. You're not probably going to get it much cheaper, if at all, online. And I believe the solid colours are like 15 to 18. And then for another few pounds, like this one, you can get one of the transparent ones. And I thought, I don't want a solid colour. I want one of the see-through ones. I want a clear one. If it's only going to be 20 or 22, whatever it was, maybe 25 with postage, I feel like that's fair. Because, again, at the game shop, I asked how much your N64 controllers, and he told me 25 quid. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. So yeah, that looks cool. The back button got no feel to it apart from. I'm gonna have to test this. This back button feels like it's jammed. Like I'm not actually getting kind of like that push in actuation. This is exactly how I'd expect it to be. There's not much to it, but it's clearly a button. Very similar to the shoulder buttons. This there's no button click. I'm just pushing something in, which is a crying shame. I don't think that's right. So it looks like I've done a handful of these CEX lotteries, right? I've had some discounted consoles. And for the most part, I wouldn't say I've really failed. You know, when I'm buying a discounted console, I expect some discoloration or some marks or a small bit of damage. And I've been happy with what I've got so far. As long as it actually works well, that's all that really matters to me. I'm not going to be inspecting the thing every time I look at it. But a controller's got to work properly. So that is unfortunately going to have to be on. I've also got the invoice on my phone, but I'll get the paper invoice, stick it with this. When I do get into CEX next, it's not going to be this weekend, unfortunately. I have to take that with me to say, look, I've just got this. That button isn't right, is it? And I'm sure they'll agree with me. So that's going to be returned. That'll be our first returns for me, and I'll have to see what they give me. I assume just the voucher minus postage or whatever. That's why I paid with a voucher, because I'm not sure if they only give you a voucher regardless of how you paid. I hope that doesn't set the tone. I hope this makes up for it with being like barely below mint or something. because this is a game that I think that I really wanted. I really want to play this only because I've got such nostalgia for the series. Where are you? All littered up there somewhere on the shelf, if you can see it. So it might not be on everyone's kind of like list of must-have Nintendo games, but this is something that I really wanted, if only to kind of complete the collection, as it were. Like, it's well packaged, it's fine. But if that's come from the same, I don't know if it comes from a central warehouse, or it's come from a specific store. Have they got a central warehouse? If this has come in the same box, does that mean it's come from the same store? Has someone pressed that? They probably haven't checked it, because at the time they took it in and it's been fine, it's passed their test, and they don't obviously recheck things. Come on, please don't be all scratched up because of this packaging. Look at it for me, chat. How is it? It feels heavy. Doesn't feel like it's falling apart in my hands. Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? I think this is £32, so about 35 delivered. And for me, that's a relatively big purchase. You know, I've just purchased Rogue Squadron and Thingy and Episode 1 for basically 17 a piece, 18 a piece delivered. Let's have a look. I assume, like, Squadron, they all kind of like come like this with like a big border. Is that right? You don't get like full arts on Nintendo 64s. They're not like a full art variant. But looking at the front, that looks good. The back looks really good to me. Side, I thought that was all kind of like effed, but it's not. It's absolutely fine. It's just how it is. The corners are obviously quite bad, but again, we're coming up on like, I think this was a late release, wasn't it? It's 99 this was released. It is a late release for the game and for the Nintendo 64, I believe. But we're not, you know, we're 25 years old. Unless someone puts something like this in Protector. It's now, oh, interestingly, not come in Protectors. The games that I've seen at my local, now that I'm interested in these games, have both been in Protectors. I don't know if they get traded in Protectors, if they sometimes have Protectors that they put on them, but this hasn't come in a Protector. So I'm guessing that's not like nationwide. It's not like a policy across all of them. It might just be if it comes in a Protector. So I'm going to have to get a Protector regardless. On the face of it, I'm fine with the condition of this. Let's have a look inside though. Like, the manual is hanging. I've been denied a with manual price before because that front page has been hanging before. So, you know, I'll hold them to the same standards that they hold me. I think that's fair. So before we look at the manual, the inlay, honestly, I don't care. You're not going to see it. You just need it to hold the game. Cartridge itself. Got like a little mark there on the front. See it? I might be able to just scrub that off quick. But once you've got the box, you don't really pay attention too much to the cartridge. So that's absolutely fine. Now this is quite heavy, but it feels a bit. Oh, okay, that's cool. We got all the little usual Nintendo additionals by the looks of it. So what else came in with this? A Nintendo 64 little pamphlet, and we've got a little Billy bonus because you like those. Nintendo 64, Welcome to the Future, fold out A4 thing. Oh, and a Game Boy Universe 99. Now that's really cool. That is in really good condition. You know that someone would be all over this. Obviously it's folded, but that's in really good condition. Just a nice little fold out A4 poster. N64 one side, Game Boy the other, both purple. Yeah. Now that one's a, is that one clip? No, that one's a solid colour, but I don't know what it is. It's a standard console with a load of light on top of it and then a grey controller. Considering this is 99, wouldn't they be pushing, you know, you've got all the different coloured, solid colours of the controllers, do you think that they would not be pushing one of the, what are they called, Fantastics or something? Lines or Clear or whatever? So I really like that, that's cool. Unfortunately I sold my Game Boys. I've got, what have I got left? I've not got a colour left anymore. I've got an SP. Unfortunately, the Game Boy Color that I had wasn't my childhood one. So I didn't have that hit for me, that nostalgic hit, unfortunately. So that's cool. And this absolute thick boy, either going to be disappointed with black and white and a ton of different languages to make up this thickness, or is it going to be like a mini game guide? Now it is black and white, but I remember looking at these when you just got the game, looking forward to like going home in the car, and you've got it out, and you're looking at the manual, it's telling you all about the units and all the lore and everything, and you're just like, oh wow, I can't wait to get into that. It just adds a little bit of want to play the game, you know? Building things, how to play the game, managing your money. We need a little bit more of those lessons in school. Nod structures, it's got exactly how much all the costs of the structures are, pictures of the structures, power, armor, purpose. So really good, but it is just a ton of different languages after page 25 or so. So it's a shame. But condition-wise, because that's kind of like what's important, right, in these things, the manual is very good condition. Instruction booklet, I do apologise. Yeah, very good condition, barely any damage. So I will insert some gameplay clips here of that. Like I can really tell, like the terrain and the explosions do look way better than the PS1 version, and it is more 3D, if you will. The unit detail is still terrible. Like I can barely tell what is what. Now I think this is one of the games that does benefit from an expansion pack. I think the frame rate suffers a little bit, but it's one of those games where it doesn't matter as much as long as you're getting relatively consistent frames. So again, I really do want one of those expansion packs for a very fair deal. Now that's obviously in isolation. I do want to have a look at it compared to the PS1, just to see how they look together. It's not something I'll be doing in this video. That'll be a much later video when I can be bothered to get around to it, honestly. It's one of those things, isn't it? I'm happy with Command and Conquer. That's one that's ticked off for me. That controller, I think that Z button is faulty. So I will need to go in soon regardless. Which is annoying, because I know that'll be a case of I'll just get the voucher back. Obviously I'm not going to be able to swap it out then and there. Or any of that monkey business. So it'll be a case of, I can't use that. I don't know what games use it, but obviously I want a fully functional controller, right? It's no good to me accepting one that isn't. I'll have to get some box protectors. It's certainly not bad condition, it's just not great, it's just good. So there we have it. I have now got a controller pack which I think, if I'm right, should allow me to save some games. I've got the, hopefully I'm getting it right, the Atomic Purple see-through N64 controller, which will be going back. And I've got Command and Conquer, so yeah, N64 CEX Lottery. Have we won, considering I believe this was just a touch under £70 delivered on my vouchers. So yeah, I've got packaging all over the floor now. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Please leave comments below. Good, no good? Is that your typical kind of experience when you've gone to CEX? We order stuff online, whatever. I still really rate them. For the UK at least, they're one of the only shops you can kind of really rely on to probably be in most towns. You know, you get a warranty, you get to look at the stuff. They're pretty fair, pretty good. So yeah, please like, comment and subscribe as always. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you very much.